This video is a step-by-step guide on how to add contour cut lines to your design files in Adobe Illustrator to make sure they print and cut accurately. Whether your design is simple or complex, vector or raster, here's the quick and dirty way to create a cut path that's spot on. Let's get started. With your graphic open in Illustrator, first make sure all of the type and stroke lines have been converted to outlines. In Outline View, we can see that there's some text that still needs to be outlined. To do that, select the type, then right-click and drop down to Create Outlines. Next, select anything with a stroke, like here on the tail. And this type also has a stroke. Go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke. Okay, now that we're ready to create the cut line, let's start in the Layers palette. Duplicate Layer 1 and rename the bottom layer Artwork, and the top Cut Line. To protect the original art, lock the artwork layer. If your graphic is a raster image like a JPEG or a PNG, use the Image Trace panel to convert the cut line layer to vector art. We are going to use black and white mode, so when we click the Preview checkbox, the color in the artwork turns black. Adjust the threshold sliders in the Image Trace panel until the amount of detail matches the original design. To make the vector shape, go to Object, Expand. Image Trace has grouped the paths and created a bounding box. So ungroup, then double-click on just the bounding box and delete it. The remaining steps are the same, whether your design is vector or raster. So we're going to switch back to the vector file we worked with first. In the cut line layer, select all and go to the Pathfinder panel. Then choose the first icon in the Shapes mode, Unite. To add a border around this design, in the top menu, go to Object, Path, Offset Path. Type in the border size you'd like around the design for the offset value, and click the Preview checkbox to see what it will look like. For pointed or square corners, choose Miter from the dropdown, or Round for rounded corners. When finished, click OK. Next, select all on the cut line layer and go to Pathfinder, then Unite. So we can see the artwork layer underneath. Let's swap the fill and stroke with this arrow here. The offset created a few paths that we want to eliminate on the inside of the artwork. To do that, we will double-click to go into isolation mode and then drag over the paths we want to get rid of and click delete. The typeface we used has some rough edges, so we're going to clean them up and draw in straight lines. Now that our shape is how we'd like it, let's get things ready for printing and cutting. In order for the path to be recognized as a cutting path rather than a shape to be printed, we need to create a specific spot color swatch that will act as a command to the rip that is named very specifically. With the cut line selected, create a new swatch in the Swatches panel. It needs to be named Cut Contour with no space in between and is spelled capital C, U-T, capital C, O-N-T-O-U-R. The color type needs to be set to spot color, and you can choose whatever color you like, but we're going to choose a bright magenta so it's obvious. If you're using the cut contour quite often, you may want to save this to your library here, so click OK. From the stroke panel, use a weight of 0.25. Now that we have a cut line, let's go ahead and add a perf cut to this as well. This cut is going to be rectangle shaped and set up at 7 inches wide by 3 inches tall. We will assign the same cut contour color to the stroke and set it at a weight of 0.25 as well. There you go. Just save your file as an EPS and it's ready for print.